What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for my Manchester City match reaction, match review and match analysis of Manchester City's victory over Nottingham Forest in the Premier League by 2-0, a match that seems to be getting overshadowed by the big red card to Rodri. So we will speak about that and digest everything with all the talking points from this game. So before I do crack on with this video, make sure, like always, if you are enjoying the content, do subscribe to my channel. It is free, that would be much appreciated. We are on that push to 32,000 subscribers, now less than 180 subs away, so any help towards that will be fantastic. Also, don't forget social media links. They're in the description if you want to go and check out my Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Do leave a thumbs up as well, that would be much appreciated. We're aiming for 100 likes, and do let me know your thoughts as well in the comments below. I do want to say a big thank you to ScratchOff Maps for sponsoring this video as well. You can go and check them out. Links and details there in the description. Do remember, use code JSGC10 on checkout to make use of 10% off. This video is brought to you by ScratchOff Maps. Thank you very much to them for sponsoring this video. It is a brilliant map with lots of availability online that you can go and check out. So the link is in the description. They've got numerous amount of maps, including if you're wanting to follow English football, you're wanting to follow and do as many grounds in the 92. You've got maps based for the NFL over in the United States. You've got Scottish maps as well. You've got European maps, German maps for you to go and check out. So lots of variety and lots of good options. A little bit about the map. The map, very easy to scratch off. It's very accessible. You can literally just pin it up and put it literally anywhere in your room. I've even put mine on the door. I also really like the fanometer that's available on the map, where you can see how many grounds you've visited and see what kind of football fan you are. I've currently done 43 of the grounds available on the map. A seasoned traveller, and I've got my eyes set this season on getting to serious respect section. Don't forget, you can go and check out the map. The link is in the description. Remember, if you use code JSGC10 on checkout, you'll get 10% off your order. Links and details, they're in the description. So we're going to crack on with this video. We're going to start off first by having a look at the lineups. And often I'm saying to you guys that it's very difficult to predict a Manchester City team, in particular a City team that's playing every 3 to 4 days, where we would be normally rotating the team with 2 or 3 players every single game. Whereas with this match, it was a pretty straightforward Pep Guardiola team for me to predict. So I've said in my preview that I was spot on with the team that Man City ended up going with, which was Ederson in goal, Kyle Walker, Ruben Dias and Josko Gvardiol being given the nod ahead of Nathan Ake. Manuel Akanji partnered Rodri in defensive midfield with Matheus Nunes starting alongside Julian Alvarez. We saw Phil Foden go onto the right wing, Jeremy Doku onto the left wing, and Erling Haaland starting up top. City once again not naming a complete bench with 2 goalkeepers on there as well, with Scott Carson and Stefan Ortega-Moreno. We did see Jack Grealish named onto the bench, and it was good to see him get some minutes. He potentially could start for Manchester City against Newcastle midweek now in the League Cup. We did see Nathan Ake get some minutes to help cover Manchester City from that red card from Rodri and give us more defensive cover, which explains why, even though Man City's had more possession despite going down to 10 men, explains why Nottingham Forest have, in particular in that second half, managed to create and muster up more opportunities than Manchester City in this game. But often, you know, not every win's going to be pretty. Sometimes it's just about digging deep and getting the job done, and when you grab a couple of goals early on like City did, sometimes it's just about grinding it out and seeing it through, and that's exactly what Man City have done here. And I think that, considering it's early on in the season, is a big bonus and gives me plenty of encouragement going forward into the upcoming games. And the biggest talking point, Kalvin Phillips coming on 51 minutes for Jeremy Doku, and I think out of every single person that's associated with Manchester City, whether that be the players, the staff, the fans, I think Kalvin Phillips will be the only person associated with Manchester City that will be very happy that Rodri has got that red card. He won't be happy in terms of a team perspective, but from an individual perspective for him, it means he's going to be getting some minutes at last for Manchester City. Rodri is a machine for Manchester City. He plays so many games, he never gets a rest. There's 3 games coming up here for him where he's going to be able to get a rest by Manchester City, and that is going to enable Manchester City to be able to give more minutes, you would think, for Kalvin Phillips coming up. But we'll speak more about that Rodri red card, and we'll speak more about what that means for the team. I first just want to speak about this result for Manchester City and how we performed in that first half, and obviously grinding it out in the second half and getting the job done. So, Manchester City, we'd won every single game in the Premier League so far heading into this game. It's a home game against a team we absolutely annihilated last season at the Etihad Stadium. The expectation here was Man City go out there and put Nottingham Forest to the sword. However, I remember saying on my preview, and I was spot on with my score prediction from this game as well, it won't be an easy game. Nottingham Forest are better now than what they were when City faced them last season in the Etihad Stadium. They'll have taken tremendous confidence from the fact that they managed to get a point off us back in February of last season as well. They're a tighter, compact team who are working harder and better. They're adapting to life in the Premier League, and they weren't in bad form heading into this game. They'd already got a big scalp in Chelsea, and only losing a couple of games heading into this game, that they'd have come to this game with no expectation and just try and give City a game. And I think Nottingham Forest, from their perspective, will take a lot of encouragement from this. That it was 2-0. They must have done more opportunities than Man City in this game as well. They'll take plenty of encouragement. They haven't come away with points, but there's a lot of teams that come to the Etihad that don't come away with any points. Sometimes it's just about performance, digging deep and seeing what you can do. It's always nice if you can score a goal, but I think if I was a Nottingham Forest fan, I'd take encouragement off this going forward with the games that they've got coming up as well. And they've had some tricky games. United away, they've faced Arsenal away, Manchester City away as well in the first 6 games. They've got some big teams away from home, done and dusted, and they'll be thinking to themselves now that the schedule will get a little bit easier for them as the season goes on, that they can start picking up some more points, because 7 points from 6 games, running an average of more than a point per game, it's going to be enough to stay in the Premier League. I look at the bottom and I think, where's the quality and what's going to be needed to stay up? And I think this is going to be a really low points tally at the bottom of the Premier League, which naturally means it's going to be a bigger points tally for that mid-table stack, and also the potential pushes for Europe. I don't know what it's going to mean for the top of the Premier League. It's all about, obviously, Manchester City are going to be pushing and be there or thereabouts. It's all about the other competitors and what they can do, the likes of Spurs, Arsenal, Liverpool, as the season goes on, as we start to develop with, 15 games or so to go. I presume City's name's going to be right up there. It's all about who's going to be competing with Manchester City to see what that points tally is going to be. At the moment, it's just too early to tell. But fact is, 6 games, 6 wins, perfect start for Manchester City. We lost Rodri, we got sent off, we've not got him for the next 3 games. 2 of them are Premier League games, one's a League Cup game as well. So it is what it is. We have to deal with it. It doesn't help. It's not ideal. It was a silly thing to do, but we got the 3 points here. It's in the past. Learn from it and go forward. We just need to keep grinding, keep working hard, see if we can get into that international break still with that 100% record in check. If it is, I think Man City are in a very, very, very strong position to make history and make it 4 Premier League trophies in a row, which is an astounding achievement. So, first half, City did what they needed to do. 2 goals in the opening 15 minutes to take the game away from Nottingham Forest. Phil Foden with a lovely strike. I think it's his first Premier League goal of the season for Manchester City as well. On 7 minutes, it's the perfect start. I said at the beginning of the season, it's a big season coming up for Phil Foden. We've let İlkay Gündoğan go. We've let Riyad Mahrez go. There's plenty of minutes available through the middle of the park. There's plenty of minutes available out wide as well. We need Phil Foden to step up this season. We need this season to be all about Phil Foden. So it's good. He's grabbed that goal. It's a well-taken goal. Cool finish into the bottom corner. He needs to build on that now. We need him now more than ever. And then Matheus Nunes, kudos to him, getting himself his first assist for Manchester City with a lovely dink ball to the back post, and it's an easy as you like header for Erling Haaland, and he scores another goal for Manchester City. His goal and assist contribution continuing at the same rate that we saw last season. It's just, I think more City fans are looking towards Erling Haaland. You think of Haaland, you think goal scoring, you think top of the goal scoring chart, you think 35, 40 plus Premier League goals, and I think he's more than capable of doing it again even this season and chipping away and grabbing another goal for Manchester City. And as I said, we're going at half-time. It takes the game away from Nottingham Forest. That killer second goal, they'll just be thinking about keeping it tight and just hoping that City don't grab that third, because if that third goes in, the heads go completely, and that's when you end up conceding 4, 5, 6 goals, and that's not what they needed to. And Nottingham Forest made sure that that didn't happen, and potentially could have come away with a goal, and we could have had a big grandstand finish towards the end as well. But as it is, Man City managed to grind it out and get the job done with 57% possession, just 7 shots, 4 on target, 2 goals, much more clinical for Manchester City. And as I said, it's enough to get the job done, so there doesn't have to be any concerns. Focus now has to move on to Newcastle United in the League Cup. Just take it one game at a time. We're going to be rotating the team. There's going to be, you would think, 90 minutes available here for Kalvin Phillips to say, actually, I should be starting against Wolverhampton Wanderers away from home next weekend. I should be starting in that mammoth Premier League game away from home against Arsenal, because the options for City with Rodri being suspended, it's a 3-game suspension. He's going to miss the match against Newcastle United in the League Cup, Wolverhampton Wanderers in the Premier League, followed by Arsenal in the Premier League the weekend after. He will be available for the RB Leipzig away game in the Champions League though. So Man City now, it's a case of, if we can't get John Stones back fit, and considering we've not seen John Stones so far this season, I don't think we're going to see John Stones until after the next upcoming international break. So it means Man City need to be working harder than ever to make sure we've got Mateo Kovacic as that option for Manchester City. We put that extra level of covering with Akanji dropping into defensive midfield, who can drop down and play as a centre-back with a back four for Manchester City as well, proving pivotal, and it's a position that's becoming more and more familiar for Manuel Akanji, and is adapting, to give him credit. Struggled, I thought, in the first game or two for a new position and a new role, but he's made it his own, and he's doing really well. And another clean sheet here for Manchester City, so it's becoming pivotal to Manchester City and this formation that we've got. So it is a case now that it gives Rodri a little bit more expressive, creative freedom offensively, that we're not as defensively reliant on Rodri, which probably does explain why Man City have become a little bit more vulnerable on the counter-attack this season, because you have got Akanji slotting in, it gives more, there's less cover basically with Rodri going further forward. So I think that is a role that would really suit Mateo Kovacic, playing as that almost double pivot, drop deeper on his defensive duties, get forward, create opportunities and score goals. I think that role would suit Mateo Kovacic down to the ground, but he's currently injured, so he's not the option for Manchester City, which, as I said, if there's anyone at City that's happy right now, Kalvin Phillips will be thinking, this is my opportunity. These next 2 games, Kalvin Phillips will get minutes. He needs to make this start against Newcastle United count. If he can, he should be starting that match against Wolverhampton Wanderers. And if he makes it and puts in another impressive performance, he should be starting against Arsenal, in my complete honest opinion. You earn your starts. You have to earn it. To me, these next 3 domestic games that we've got are the make or break of Kalvin Phillips at Manchester City. By the time we get Rodri back, if Kalvin Phillips hasn't asserted himself into that Manchester City starting 11, I don't think he's going to assert himself, and I can see him leaving in January with the European Championships for England coming up in summer. He needs regular minutes if he wants to be on that plane. So this is a very poignant part of his career, and we're at a very fine, delicate part of Man City's season as well with the Premier League. And this Rodri red card with that Arsenal away game coming up in particular is bordering on nearly a disaster, but we do have the cover there, and I'm still confident City can go to the Emirates and we can get a good result and beat them, in my complete honest opinion. Arsenal will take confidence from not having Rodri there. City need to show up and show what they can do. It's a team effort. There's 11 players on that pitch. It's not the Rodri show. So the only other talking point is that red card from Rodri. It was a stupid thing to do. 46 minutes in, just after half-time, Morgan Gibbs-White is looking for a reaction from Rodri. He's winding him up. He's hoping that he's going to put hands onto him. He's going to raise his hand. He's going to push him. He's going to do something stupid that could lead to him being sent off and an opening for Nottingham Forest into the game. And Rodri, he bites. Not literally, but he bites to the reaction of that and raises his hand, and he gets sent off for it. And for some reason, I've seen a lot of debate about this. I don't know if it's subjective. I don't know if it's down to opinion or not, but you raise your hand you run the risk of getting a red card. And I'm not going to sit here and defend Rodri's actions there. Rodri knows better. I'm sure Rodri regrets what he has done. I'm sure he'll come back stronger than ever. As I said, it's a good opportunity for him now to get some rest and keep him fit as possible to get him back, because it's a long season. There's a lot of games to be played, and Rodri is probably one of them players that doesn't really get rotated or get rest. So it's a unique opportunity here to rest him, and it's up to the rest of the squad now to make that one back. And yeah. I thought it was a red card. You can't be raising your hands. I don't think Morgan Gibbs-White covered himself in glory in the whole theatrics of the incident either. But it's just modern day officiating in the Premier League and where we're at now, and it's one of them things. It's happened. We move on. There's plenty to be positive about. We grinded it out from there. We got the job done. We got the 3 points. We kept the clean sheet. We defensively looked pretty sound. We're clinical in front of goal in this game. It's one thing that's been concerning me over the last few weeks is putting our opportunities away, because there are going to be times where we're not able to create 15 to 20 shots on target in a game, and this game was one of them. And sometimes it's about having 3 or 4 shots on target, grabbing a couple of goals that's enough to get you them 3 points, and that is what we have done. There's different ways of winning, and Man City once again showing why the Premier League champions 3 times in a row, because we know how to win ugly, we know how to win pretty, we know how to score good goals, we know how to scrape through with goals as well. We know what we need to do to win, and we do everything we can to make it possible. And to me, that's why Man City are so good domestically in the Premier League with this marathon run that goes on, because it can be absolutely relentless, and it's brilliant to get off to a good start. And now we need to build on that momentum heading into the international break, because there's so many little breaks every 4 weeks for the first 3 months of the season. It just stops all that momentum, and we just need to persevere and push on from there. So as I said, focus now moves away from the Premier League and onto the League Cup. We'll be back again with a match preview for you guys to look forward to. There'll be a transfer update rolling out as well in between the preview coming out for that Newcastle game as well for you guys to look forward to. So if you haven't already, do subscribe. Plenty more City content to come. Also, don't forget social media links. They're in the description too if you want to go and check out my Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. That'd be much appreciated. Also, don't forget my email in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Do leave a thumbs up. 100 likes is the aim. Also, don't forget as well to leave your thoughts in the comments below. Go and check out today's video sponsor, ScratchOff Maps. Links and details, they're in the description, and I'll see you all again tomorrow for that City transfer update. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope everyone is safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now.